we think about what JF always mentions, our brother, our circuit overseer, about following the slave, that's certainly the case from those highlights and making sure that we continue to go through information that the slave has prepared for us. And we see that talk that was given in regards of the appropriateness of brothers taking the lead, family heads, the potential that we have in our congregation. So we want to thank you very much, Brother Morales, for doing that for us. And we can see that the need is here in our congregation, and it's appropriate to mention those things. And also the comments of the congregation, we want to thank you. Even I was at 38 seconds, and there was only one at 27. So there's a lot of room for improvement. And one of the things that the district overseer mentioned, Brother Duncombe, he said there were 12 comments because they prepared, not because of the circuit assembly. Well, that was, they had to. But we can do that. Let's set that goal for us as a congregation to have 12 comments. And it may be one time that you will not be called. That's okay. Make sure you prepare for the next week and then go on and go on. So that extends a responsibility to the brothers giving the highlights, not to call on the same ones, but give an opportunity for others. So some things to really consider and how we can really reach that goal. So let's do that together. Let's now give our attention to Brother Tim Cargill, and he's going to read for us in the book of Genesis, chapter 17, to verse 18 through chapter 18, verse 8. Brother Cargill, please.
So Abraham said to the true God, "Oh, that Ishmael might live before you." To this God said, "Your wife Sarah will definitely bear you a son, and you must name him Isaac. And I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant to his offspring after him. But as regards Ishmael, I have heard you. Look, I will bless him and will make him fruitful and will multiply him very, very much. He will produce 12 chieftains, and I will make him become a great nation. However, I will establish my covenant with Isaac, whom Sarah will bear to you at this appointed time next year." When God finished speaking with him, he went up from Abraham. Abraham then took Ishmael his son, and all the men born in his house, and everyone he had purchased with money, every male in the household of Abraham, and he circumcised the flesh of their foreskins on that very day, just as God had spoken with him. Abraham was 99 years old when he had the flesh of his foreskin circumcised. And Ishmael, his son, was 13 years old when he had the flesh of his foreskin circumcised. On that very day, Abraham was circumcised, and also his son Ishmael. All the men of his household, anyone born in the house, and anyone purchased with money from a foreigner, were also circumcised with him. Afterward, Jehovah appeared to him among the big trees of Mamre while he was sitting at the entrance of the tent during the hottest part of the day. He looked up and saw 3 men standing some distance from him. When he saw them, he ran from the entrance of the tent to meet them, and he bowed down to the ground. Then he said, "Jehovah, if I have found favor in your eyes, please do not pass by your servant. Please, let a little water be brought and have your feet washed, then recline under the tree. Seeing that you have come here to your servant, let me bring a piece of bread so that you may refresh yourselves. Then you may go on your way." At this they said, "All right, you may do as you have spoken." So Abraham hurried to the tent to Sarah and said, "Quick, get 3 measures of fine flour, knead the dough, and make loaves of bread." Next, Abraham ran to the herd and chose a tender and good young bull. He gave it to the attendant, who hurried to prepare it. He then took butter and milk and the young bull that he had prepared and set the food before him. Then he stood by them under the tree as they were eating.
Thank you very much, Brother Cargill.